What you're trying to do to this nation in introducing this Treaty Principles Bill. Made that historic Declaration of Partnership in 1987. Mr. Speaker, I'm a Labour Party member, but I'm also a proud Maori and New Zealander. And I denounce this foul attempt to rewrite the constitutional framework of this nation simply because the Prime Minister is too weak to stop the dangerous extremism of the ACT Party.
New Zealand National.
49 votes in favour.
New Zealand Labour.
34 votes opposed.
Green Party of Aotearoa New Zealand.
15 votes opposed.
ACT New Zealand.
11 votes in favour.
New Zealand First.
8 votes in favour.
Te Pāti Māori.
E ono ngā pōti e whakahe.
A long time ago, Te Roparaha, a Maori chieftain, was fleeing his enemies and sought refuge in a nearby village. An ally hid him in a Kamara pit, a dark, cramped hole for storing sweet potatoes. As his pursuers searched above, Te Roparaha lay silent and terrified, trapped between life and death. When the danger passed, he emerged unscathed and composed a chant of triumph. "Kamate, kamate," he said, "ka ora, ka ora. It is death, it is death, it is life, it is life." This chant, born from his brush with death, became the Haka Kamate. It is widely told in Maori oral tradition and New Zealand history. I'm Manish Adhikari, and in today's episode of The Culture Project, we will revisit this timeless declaration still performed today as a symbol of strength and victory. In an unprecedented scene on November 14th, New Zealand's youngest MP did something that spread across the world like wildfire. Her name is Hana Rawhiti Maipi Clarke of Te Pāti Māori, a political party in New Zealand advocating Maori rights. Now, Miss Clarke stood and began a ringing haka. Within seconds, it swelled to a roar. First, opposition lawmakers joined, then spectators in the public gallery lent their voices to the chant. The display was part protest, part cultural homage. It was a call to action against a proposed bill that could reshape the future of New Zealand's indigenous population. The bill proposes equal treatment of all New Zealanders. At first glance, it may sound like a push for fairness, but the Maori communities believe this proposed law represents a deeper threat to their rights, a status that was promised to them nearly 2 centuries ago. Who are the indigenous people of New Zealand? The Maori are Polynesian people. Polynesia is a region in the Pacific Ocean which is dotted with islands inside what experts call the Polynesian Triangle. Guided by sophisticated navigation skills, the Maoris arrived in New Zealand around 1300 AD after crossing thousands of miles of ocean from islands like Hawaii. They established a society rich in unique culture, language and spiritual practices. The Maori worldview, or Te Ao Maori, emphasizes living in harmony with nature and honoring their ancestors, much like the Hindus of India. Over time, Maori culture evolved with rich oral traditions, myths and rituals like the Haka, a powerful dance originally used to prepare warriors for battle or to show unity and strength in times of conflict. But the Maori way of life changed drastically in the 19th century with the arrival of who else but the European settlers. In 1840, the British and Maori leaders signed the Treaty of Waitangi. This treaty promised the Maoris protection of their rights in exchange for British sovereignty over New Zealand. The Treaty of Waitangi had two versions. The Maori text assured Maori leaders they would retain authority over their lands, people and treasures. But the English version, with its own nuances, was interpreted by the British as giving them greater authority than the Maori understood. This difference in interpretation has led to centuries of disputes, with Maori arguing that the promises made in the treaty known as Te Tiriti o Waitangi were never fully honoured. Fast forward to today and you'll see the bill that sparked the Haka protest is viewed by most Maoris as yet another attempt to erode the rights that were promised to them all the way back in 1840. By pushing for equal treatment, the bill appears to disregard the distinct status Maori communities have fought to protect, a status backed by the treaty. Maori leaders argue that true equity respects the unique historical and cultural rights of indigenous people, not just a one-size-fits-all approach. Back to the Parliament protest. The Haka isn't just any dance, it's a deeply spiritual and symbolic act. You may have seen the All Blacks rugby team perform it before games, but this wasn't a pre-game ritual. It was a form of political defiance, a visceral expression of pride, resistance and unity, with chants, body slaps and powerful stances that resonate with anyone who watches it. So when MPs began performing the Haka in Parliament, it was as if the Maori ancestors themselves were standing in the room, reminding the world that their legacy and rights cannot be erased. The Maori are more united and determined than ever to keep their culture and promises alive, quite clearly. Thanks for tuning into the Culture Project. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the powerful stories that shape our world.
For more informative videos like this, keep watching India Today Newsmo.